What if I told you your company is sitting on a powerful, hidden profit engine right now? Well, today we're going to show you exactly how to find the key and unlock it. Does this sound familiar? You've thrown more money at marketing, you've hired more salespeople, and yet your growth has just flatlined? It's a super common and, frankly, really frustrating feeling for successful companies, right? It's like the old playbook just stopped working.
But here's the thing. What if the answer isn't out there in some new, undiscovered market or a bigger ad budget? The big idea we're digging into today is that your next wave of growth, it's already here. It's hiding in plain sight, right inside the customer data you already have.
So, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start by talking about that invisible growth wall. Then we'll show you the hidden treasure map in your data. And after that, we'll cover 3 crucial keys you need to unlock that profit engine for good.
All right, let's dive in. Section 1, the invisible growth wall. You know, the real root of this problem, more often than not, comes down to how we think about our CRM. We see it as this chore instead of the powerful tool it actually is.
And really, it's all about a massive mindset shift. On one hand, you have the common view. The CRM is a data graveyard. It's dusty, it's a cost center, you just dump info into it. But the winning strategy? That's seeing it as a dynamic profit engine, maybe the single most valuable asset you have for growth.
Okay, so how do you actually flip that switch and turn the engine on? Well, it all starts when you stop seeing your data as just a bunch of numbers and start seeing it for what it is, a hidden treasure map. It's literally a guide to your next big win, but you gotta know how to read it first.
I love this analogy. Think about it like this. Raw data is like a blurry X-ray. You and I might look at it and just see a gray smudge. But a data analyst? They're like a radiologist. They look at that same blurry image and they see a crystal clear diagnosis and a full treatment plan to fix it. And that diagnosis can be an absolute game changer. I mean, look at this. For one manufacturing client, the analysis showed a classic 80-20 rule in action. Get this, less than 20% of their customers were driving a massive 80% of the profits. An insight like that, it changes everything. But wait, it gets better. That was just the start. Their treasure map also pointed to this hidden gem, a super niche product that had 3 times the average customer loyalty. And maybe the craziest part, it showed that almost a third of their so-called dormant customers looked exactly like their best active customers. That is literally a goldmine of people just waiting for you to reach out. Here's another great example. A food supplier discovered that 70%, a huge majority, of clients who bought ingredient A also needed ingredient B within 90 days. This wasn't a guess, this was a data-backed fact. So what did they do? They built a simple automated campaign to cross-sell ingredient B. It practically ran itself and just printed predictable, easy revenue. Okay, so all these incredible insights lead us straight to our very first key. And it's a big one. You have to truly know your customers. And I'm not talking about simple labels. I'm talking about building rich, deeply understood, profitable customer profiles. This means you gotta stop thinking in these vague terms like new customer or VIP. I mean, what does that even tell you? They're so one-dimensional. The real power is in creating these multi-dimensional profitability profiles. You know, identifying your whales, your sleepers who have huge potential, your loyal fans, and the faders who are starting to drift away. This is how you get surgically precise with your marketing. So how do you actually build these profiles? It really boils down to 3 pillars. First, look at spending power. That helps you find your whales and your sleepers. Second is engagement. Who's opening emails, visiting the site? These are your digital hand raisers. And third, loyalty. You dig into their purchase history to find your biggest fans and, just as important, the folks who might be about to leave. And look, this doesn't have to be some crazy complex project. Check this out. A TV shopping network saw that new male customers usually bought tech, while women usually bought beauty products. So they made one tiny change. They tailored the welcome emails based on that very first purchase. The result? An 11% boost in repurchase rates from new members. Simple, right? But so effective and totally data-driven. All right, so once you have these awesome, rich profiles, you can move on to the second key, engineering personal journeys. This is where the magic happens. You finally get to stop sending out those generic email blasts to everyone and start building customized playbooks for different types of customers. You want to focus on these key moments in the customer lifecycle. Like, what's your welcome mat experience look like? How do you celebrate milestones with them? What's that velvet rope treatment you give your absolute best customers? And, super important, what's your plan to win back a great customer when they suddenly go silent? Now, I know what you're thinking. The easiest thing to do here is just offer a discount. But trust me, that is a trap. All it does is eat into your profits, and worse, it trains your customers to just sit around and wait for the next sale. The much smarter move is to create what's called a value hook. This is something that actually enriches their experience and builds a kind of loyalty that a 10% off coupon just can't touch. So what's a value hook? Well, if you sell software, maybe it's exclusive training that'll help your customer get a promotion. If you're a lifestyle brand, maybe it's a money can't buy experience, like a special event. Or you could build an emotional bridge. Think of a food company creating recipe videos specifically for caregivers. See? You're adding real, tangible value to their life, not just to a transaction. And when you start adding that kind of real value, that's what lets you build the third and final key, a self-sustaining growth flywheel. But to do this, you have to make one more big shift in your thinking, away from short-term ROI and towards the long-term game of customer lifetime value. Customer lifetime value, or CLTV for short. It's pretty simple. It's the total amount of revenue you can reasonably expect from any single customer over their entire relationship with you. And honestly, this is the ultimate metric. It is the true north for a healthy, growing, sustainable business. To make this real, your dashboard needs to become your growth control panel. And on that panel, there are 3 numbers that are absolutely non-negotiable. You have to track your customer retention rate, your customer repurchase rate, and of course, that all-important CLTV. You focus on these and you will build unstoppable momentum. It really all boils down to this philosophy, right? You set your vision from 30,000 feet. That's your big goal, maximizing CLTV. But you have to execute with your boots on the ground. That means relentlessly, day in and day out, testing and optimizing every single little touch point that moves those numbers up. And that is the reward. It's about finally unlocking this incredible engine. So it's time to stop. Please stop thinking of your CRM as some dusty old database or a cost center. It is your single most valuable, most underutilized asset. It's the key to breaking through that growth wall. It is an absolute goldmine. The potential for new growth just sitting there in your dormant customer data, it's immense. It's not a question of if the opportunity is there, it's a question of when you're going to decide to finally tap into it. So the only real question left is, are you ready to unlock it?